Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to day 6 of our 21-day yoga challenge, Yoga for Everybody. I'm Heather, I'm the Bent Yogi, and if you're following along in January, today is Monday, so we didn't have any videos over the weekend. And I'm curious, how did you use the weekend? Did you make up a practice? Did you take the weekend off? Did you add in a practice? Let me know in the comments below. And today, day 6, let's get started. Let's practice together. Come onto your mat and we'll begin. Today, let's get started in downward facing dog. And we won't be here for too long in downward dog. And if you prefer, you can start in child's pose. We started in child's pose all last week. And that's a really nice reminder that you can begin any practice in child's pose, that you can add child's pose into any practice if it feels good for you. Here, beginning in downward dog, set your hands, spread your fingers wide, let your middle fingers, your index fingers point forward. Set your gaze back behind you or close your eyes and take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And you're going for an upside down letter V shape in your downward dog. So feel if you can let your head hang down. Press your hands down and away. Gently press your chest back towards your thighs. Gently, really gently, just feeling if there's room. And if you have a lot going on in your hamstrings or your low back, you might try a bend in your knees. That might give you a little more space. Together, let's take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Breathe in and breathe out. And once more, let's take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, make your way up to the front of your mat. You can step, you can jump, set your feet together or apart, but set your feet and rise to stand. Come all the way up. Reach your hands up from the ground, lift up. Take a big inhale here. Hands to your heart, exhale. Now you can set your gaze, you can lower your gaze or close your eyes. And just a moment to pause, to reconnect with your body and your breath and reconnect with your intention. Your intention today might be the same or similar as last week. It might be something completely new and different. Every time you get on your mat, you are different. So allowing yourself to feel this and letting your practice fit your body and your being appropriately, accordingly. Together, let's take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Inhale, sweep up, reach up, fold forward, exhale. You can soften your knees as you fold. Find your halfway lift, your flat back. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Might work with your hands on your shins. Add in that little bend to your knees. You can let your hands dangle. Maybe they even touch your mat. Take a big breath in. Fold forward. Exhale. Inhale. Come on up to stand. Rise up. Reach your hands high. Look up. Fold forward. Exhale. Find your halfway lift. A big inhale. Now bring your hands to your mat and step back to your high push-up, your high plank. Shoulders track over wrists. Here. Go ahead and drop your knees just for this first one, our Sun A. Take a big breath in. Move forward. Lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes. And now we'll set up for our Cobra, our low Cobra. Squeeze your elbows in. Ground through your hands. Draw your chest forward. Feel the tops of your feet on your mat, your toenails on your mat. Take a really big inhale. And as you exhale, lower back down. Press up through your tabletop, hands and knees. And now press back to your child's pose. You can take your knees wide or work with your knees together. Hands forward or alongside. And take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Take a big inhale. And a big exhale. Walk your hands a little more forward. Tuck your toes under and come on back to your downward facing dog. Find your downward dog, set it up so that it feels good, you feel steady. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Take another deep inhale here. And as you exhale, step or jump to your hands. Set your feet. Find your halfway lift, your flat back, long spine. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Lift your hands, lift your heart, look up. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Bring your hands to your mat. Step back to your high push-up, your high plank. Now you can keep your knees lifted or you can drop them down. Take a big breath in. Move forward, halfway down or all the way down for your low push-up. On your inhale, your Cobra or your upward facing dog. And as you exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Now you can transition back to downward dog in whatever way works for you. Maybe adding that tabletop. And you can also add in child's pose. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. I remember the first time early in my practice, I heard a teacher say that downward dog is meant to be a resting pose. And I thought that they were crazy. But now after years of practice, it is. So whatever you're feeling, feel it. And you can adjust, you can adapt, and most important, you can enjoy yourself. Take another deep inhale here. And as you exhale, make your way to the front of your mat. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, lift up. Now, chair pose, Katasana. Bend your knees. Sit down and sit back. Here, your feet can be together or apart, but set your feet so your big toes are just a little bit closer together than your heels. Your second toes point forward. Notice if you start to tip forward and hang out with your toes as you sit down, soften your toes, sit down and sit back. And you can work with your hands high or your hands at your heart. Either variation, let your shoulders roll back. Draw your low belly in and up. Lift your chest and lift your heart. Take a really big inhale here. Now fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Bring your hands to your mat, stepping back to your high push-up with your knees lifted or lowered. Move forward and halfway down or all the way down, low push-up. Inhaling to your Cobra or your upward facing dog. And as you exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Here, step your right foot to your right thumb, spin your back foot flat, and rise up to your warrior one. So moving through sun salutation B, Surya Namaskara B. You might take one step to come into your warrior one. It might be a couple of steps. You might land here and then feel. You can walk your front foot a little more forward, take up a little more space. Front foot is flat and straight. You can have your hands high or at your heart. Your back toes point just a little bit forward, and that'll give you some room to bring your right hip back and your left hip forward on this side. Now all those physical adjustments, how about your breath? Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Breathe in and breathe out. And take one more big inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your mat, stepping back to your high push-up, moving forward, halfway down or all the way down, low push-up. Inhaling, a Cobra or an upward dog. Exhaling, back to your downward dog. Here, step your left foot to your left thumb, spin your right foot flat, and rise up to your warrior one. And check in. Begin by checking with your breath. So as you set up your warrior one on this side, are you thinking about it in your head? And if you're new to the practice, there's definitely a little bit of thinking, right? You're trying to think about where to put your feet, where to put your hands. But start to feel it more. Feel that you do have both feet flat on your mat, on the ground. And soften your toes. You don't have to hang on. You can reach your hands high or work with your hands at your heart. Either variation, crown of your head extends up towards the sky. You're really tall in your upper body here. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Once more, big inhale. Exhale. Hands come down to your mat. Step back to your high push-up. Knees lifted or lowered. Forward, halfway down or all the way down. A big breath in, your upward dog or your Cobra. And as you exhale, back to your downward dog. We're adding your child's pose. We'll take a breath or two here. Breathe in. And breathe out. One breath at a time. A big inhale. And a big exhale. Once more, a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, step or jump to the front of your mat. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, rise up. Katasana, chair pose. Set your feet, check in with your feet. Sit down, sit back. At the same time, lift your chest and lift your heart. We'll flow through one more sun bee. Take a big breath in. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to your mat, step back to your high push-up. Remember, you can bring your knees down. Move forward and halfway down or all the way down. A big breath in. Your upward dog or your cobra, lead with your heart. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Here, step your right foot to your right thumb. Left foot spins flat. Set your feet, rise up. And as you rise up, feel if you can adjust. You might take your front foot a little more forward. Maybe take your front foot a little to the right. Lift up out of your hips. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hands come down to your mat. Stepping back to your high push-up. Knees lifted or lowered, forward and down, low push-up. Upward dog or a cobra as you inhale, back to your downward facing dog. Now step your left foot to your left thumb, spin your right foot flat. Warrior one here. Rise up. Feel that you do have both feet on the ground. Bend your front knee, let it track over your front ankle. If you reach your hands high, soften your shoulders, even with your hands at your heart, soften your shoulders. You can set your gaze here, that helps a lot with physical balance. But soften around your gaze, soften your face and your jaw. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, hands come down to your mat. High push-up, forward and down, low push-up. Upward dog, your cobra or your low cobra. And as you exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. And go ahead and bring your knees down to your mat. Sit back over your heels. Lie on your back. We're going to finish our practice with a short Shavasana. You can come onto your back. Let your feet come together and your knees wide. Supta Baddha Konasana, which really just means reclining bound angle pose. A little bit of a hip opener. And if this doesn't work, go ahead and take your legs straight or even bring your feet flat on the ground. Just a moment or two here, feeling your breath, feeling what you have done, that you showed up today. And integrating all of this so you can carry it with you when you leave your mat. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Now you can stay here as long as you like, but that is the end of our day 6 practice. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Heather. I'm the Bent Yogi. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Leave a comment below and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll see you on your mat tomorrow.